What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing something I am excited about. We are going over what we are going to be doing to the BRZ, what we've kind of already done to it in the end power goal and the setup that we're going to be running on the car. I thought this was appropriate because today I did get the first turbo part for the BRZ, which is the Delicious Tuning boost controller. Somehow this was the first part to get here. But we'll go into the rest of the details of the build here in a minute. I also wanted to say thank you to Nomai? I don't know how to pronounce this, but I do have a P.O. box for people who do want to send stuff in, and I think it's a really cool idea to be able to do so. And I was curious about it, which we got a dope shirt. It's actually a pretty cool shirt. Thank you, Nomai. I don't know quite how to pronounce your company's name, but really cool shirt, really soft too. But I do want to say thank you for that. And if anybody does want to send anything to the channel, I will drop my P.O. box down below. Feel free to send me whatever you got. Just don't send me anything weird. If you do, at least make sure it's something cool weird. But anyways, like I said, I wanted to break down with you guys kind of the plan and the build setup for the BRZ and what we're doing, so that way we're not all just kind of here in the dark with me just randomly throwing parts on. So over the past couple days, you guys have seen me get the wheels in for the car. You've seen some suspension components go on the car. Now there are going to be some changes that go on with the suspension of the car. Overall, I'm not happy with the yellow speed coilovers. Those are coming off of the car. I've already ordered a set of Fortunato 500s that are going to be taking their place. I'll make a video showing you guys the differences between Fortunatos and some yellow speed coilovers, just so you guys understand my gripes and complaints with them. But those coilovers will be going on the car. The yellow speeds will be coming off. Outside of that, we're not doing a lot of suspension components to the BRZ right now. I've got the OEM STI rear sway bar on the car. It's like a 6mm bump increase in sway bar size. We're gonna be running Super Pro front end links, white line rear lower control arms, and SBC rear toe arms, just to be able to get our alignment properly done on the BRZ. Now you guys have seen we're going to be running NT03s on the car with a 255/40 tire in the rear and a 245/35 tire in the front. So just like you saw in the last video, we rolled and pulled the fenders. We got that good to go, so that way when I get the new tires in tomorrow, we can get those thrown on and get everything fitted up nicely. It will be temporary since the Fortunatos will be taking the place of the yellow speeds, and I'll have to be swapping all of that out again. But it is what it is. I'm not too worried about it. Now, for the fun stuff of the car, I'm going to tell you all the parts I plan on doing. We're going to start with drivetrain, then we'll get up into the engine and the turbo setup for the car that I have ordered. For the drivetrain, we are going to be swapping out the clutch on this car, so you guys are finally getting that clutch replacement video that you have wanted for so long. However, it is on a BRZ and not the WRX or STI quite yet, because the STI's clutch is still holding up very good. So we are going to be running a competition stage 3 single disc clutch in the car. It will be able to hold about 350 foot-pounds of torque. I don't expect us to exceed that in this car. I think horsepower-wise, we won't even get above 350 wheel horsepower either. I did want to have a clutch in there that has room to grow, so if we do want to turn up the boost a little bit later down the road, we can. Now, while still working in the drivetrain area, I did order a forged clutch fork for the car because I have seen a lot of issues with both the WRX and STI and the BRZ's clutch fork just giving out and breaking. So I figured while I have the transmission off, it's a good idea to swap that clutch fork out for a forged one. So I went with the Verus forged clutch fork for the car, and a little excited to get that on there. I think the Mod Garage is nice enough to let us use their lift up there, so that way it's not going to be a huge pain to pull this transmission out, swap the clutch into it, and get it back on the road. But the clutch is something that we're going to be swapping out on the car before we even start putting the turbo setup on there, so that way that it's just knocked out and done. I hate pulling transmissions. It's not enjoyable at all, but it will definitely be worth it. It'll let us beat on the car a little bit more after it's tuned. So super excited to get that clutch in there. Now for the moment we have all been waiting for, the turbo setup for the car. As I just tap on my paint. So the turbo setup that I decided to go with for the car is the MA Performance turbo setup. I was looking at a couple other kits out there such as JDL, Steam Speed, I think was one of them that I was looking at that made one, and a couple other brands. HKS was one that kind of piqued my interest, but I ended up deciding on the MA Performance turbo kit for a couple reasons. One, the turbo placement sits right up in the front of the car. Actually, let me pop the hood. So the turbo placement, now that we have the hood is open, you can see what I'm talking about. The turbo placement with the MA Performance kit sits right about where the stock intake is, so it's a very accessible turbo. Now, with the turbo setup, we are going to be running a Precision 4831 turbo. It's good for about 375 wheel horsepower, but I only project us making about 325 to about 340 wheel horsepower with the BRZ. We're going to be using an unequal length manifold as well, which is odd because I always harp on equal length manifolds, I know. But that's what the kit comes with. It comes with an unequal length manifold. I am getting the exhaust manifold, the downpipe, the dump tube, all ceramic coated, so that way there won't be any issues with heat. Because of where the turbo placement is going to be up in the engine bay, we are going to have some issues with some heat soaking, so I am going to try to mitigate that as much as possible. With that kit though, and the unequal length headers, we're going to be running a Turbo Smart blow-off valve and a Turbo Smart 38mm external wastegate on the car. I'm expecting the car to be tuned around 12 to 14 PSI. So not a lot of boost, but remember it is a high compression engine. I do believe the compression on this car is about 12 to 1 versus a standard STI being about 8 to 1. So it should make some really good power. Now with more air, you're gonna need more fuel also. So we do have some 675cc injectors coming for this car. You don't need massive injectors when it comes to a BRZ or an FRS because the engine, it is an FA20, but it utilizes both port injection and direct injection. I can make a video breaking down how both of those systems work with one another later on if that is something you guys are interested in. But we are going to be running those 675 FIC injectors. We are running a DW65C fuel pump in the fuel tank. We are sticking to pump gas for now. If I do decide that I want to go on ethanol later down the road, we will put in a flex fuel sensor, we will reroute our fuel lines, and we will get that done as well. As for the intercooler for the kit, we are going to be running a 3.5-inch core intercooler with titanium piping going up to the turbo and the throttle body. It should help mitigate heat inside of the engine bay as well, and we're also going to be throwing a PTP Lava turbo blanket on the hot side of the turbo just to help bring those temps down a little bit more. Now, when it comes to cooling of the engine, it's going to get hot. It's gonna get really hot. It's a very compact engine bay up here, especially with a turbo kit that'll be going on up here. Oil cooling, I have that Perrin oil cooler that I was gonna use on the STI that I'm actually gonna be using on the BRZ now. I don't know how I'm going to make it work. I have enough Vibrant line. I only need to order 2 more Dash 10 fittings to be able to have everything to make it work, but we are gonna be getting that somehow on here. I don't quite know how. The Radium dual catch can setup that I recently put on the car is actually going to be coming off because the MA Performance turbo kit comes with its own. So we're going to be utilizing that one. I believe it sits right up in the middle up there somewhere. Don't know where, haven't gotten the kit yet. The lead time on the kit is about 3 to 4 weeks. So I ordered it a week ago, so we're 1 week into the lead time. Everything is made to order. That's pretty much how a lot of these turbo kits are out there. Not a lot of people stock them because they're not huge selling items. When it comes to BRZs, FRSs, people will either keep it NA, they'll go supercharged, or they'll go turbocharged. The turbocharger kits are a little more uniquely built to whoever is ordering them. Like someone wouldn't order the exact same turbo kit that I got, but you know, you guys get what I'm saying. So that's kind of the bulk of the power stuff that we got going on the car. Like I said, it's gonna be external wastegate. It'll have a blow-off valve. We're gonna be running a 3.5 bar map sensor on this car instead of a 4 bar like we are in the STI, but I'm excited. I am so excited to get this thing turbocharged. I've always wanted a turbocharged BRZ and we are finally doing it. I also want to wide body this car at some point. I know every other person on YouTube wants to wide body their BRZ or FRS, but when it comes to modifying a car, to me, I always want to do the power stuff, the handling, the suspension, the brakes, everything that makes the car fun to drive before doing a lot of the major aesthetic parts. You guys have seen me do this on the STI. You guys are going to see me do this again on the BRZ, and just it'll be worth it, I promise you. It'll look like a stock BRZ on the outside, but on the inside it will be nothing but So like I said, I'm expecting the car to make around 325 to 340 wheel horsepower. I'm going with a local tuning shop. I'm not doing any e-tune, so the tuning shop that I've decided to go with is Intech Racing. They've tuned a couple of my buddies' 2J 240s and SR20s. Super awesome tuning shop, super cool. I'll make sure to bring the camera up there. We'll do another Dyno Day video because those are some of my favorites, are the Dyno Day videos. But there's gonna be a lot of custom stuff going on with the BRZ because not everything's gonna be a direct bolt-on replacement. We are gonna be running a crash beam with the intercooler. The whole core support's gonna end up getting replaced for another one. Some of the supporting mods that we've already done to prep the car for a turbocharger, like I said, that larger radiator, new spark plugs, the car's pretty much ready to go and ready to accept the turbocharger. I'm gonna be pulling the AC off the car because first of all, I never use air conditioning in either one of my cars. So just to free up some room in here, the air conditioning unit is going to be coming out as well with all of the lines, because we're just gonna go full send with this one. But that's about the bulk of the things that's gonna be going on with the BRZ here in the next couple weeks. Hopefully that turbo kit shows up sooner than later, but right now my main focus is, before even getting the turbo kit on the car, are to get the wheels, tires, and suspension kind of set up, get the drivetrain mods knocked out. Like I said, that clutch fork. We're also gonna be swapping out some mounts while we're down there. I may end up purchasing stronger axles for the car because I don't know how capable those OEM axles are at holding power decent, but we will see what happens with this car. We're also gonna be doing some other maintenance stuff while we're in here, such as just like belts, small things here and there. The oil pan is also getting pulled off for the full-blown Motorsports Racing oil pan with the Killer Bee oil pickup and windage tray. So that way that will help with our longevity just a little bit more. But I hope you guys are excited for this Turbo BRZ build as I am, because this thing is going to be sick. So off camera also, the UPS guy just showed up, dropped off our coolant, all the new oil for the oil change, AFR gauge, boost gauge, oil pickup, gauge rings, boost controllers. We got, ooh, parts are starting to pile up, you guys. Ooh, super excited for all that good stuff that's being dropped off by UPS. I got 4 more packages being delivered today. Ooh, can't wait. But also, thanks again for the shirt. This thing's like super comfy. If anyone does want to send me anything, feel free. I'll drop the P.O. box address right below. Also, if you were wanting to snag any of the Smedia merch in the store down below or on the Teespring site, I would do that relatively soon if you want any of the current designs, because I am pulling all of those down here in the next week or so. I'm gonna start putting out the next V2 designs. So if there is anything you have been eyeballing, feel free to go snag it. Your boy appreciates all the support. But anyways, that's all I got for you guys. If you liked the video, you know what to do. Smash that like button, kick it, dance on it, tap on it, poke it. I don't care. Just turn that thumbs up blue. Ooh. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, which you should be, because we got a lot of good BRZ stuff coming, as we all just talked about. So I'll put that in one of these corners. Don't quite know which one yet. But with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, homies.